I got the Eagles winning another close game, Skip. What impressed me most about the Eagles was the last time they faced, the Giants was the last time they faced the Eagles, Skip. With none of their starters playing, they played them all the way down to the wire. And with Eagles having everything on the line, they really could get no separation. I think it was 22-16 ball game.
Yep.
They ended up winning that game and winning the division and having the #1 seed. But the Eagles' defense over the last month and a half of the season, Skip, I haven't been impressed with it. I haven't been impressed with their special teams all season long. And I think those are some of the things the Giants can exploit. But I just think the Eagles are a better football team. And at the end of the day, I think Daniel Jones comes back down a little bit. I think he's going to play well. The Eagles, one thing they need to do, Skip, they need to count for that man's legs now. Y'all cannot let this man just run around and just pick up half 50, 70 yards running the football, because he's going to extend drives and he's going to stay on the field and put your defense at risk. But I just think the Eagles are a better team. I think Jalen Hurts having another week of rest to get that arm, that shoulder healthy. I believe he'll be a little better than what he was the last time they faced this team. And I got them winning a very, very close ball game. I'm going to say they win 27-23. I do remember what he did to the Giants in MetLife Stadium, but I also watched the Giants with my own eyes last week, what they did to Minnesota. And Daniel Jones was phenomenal. He looked like the #1 pick. He looked like a guy moving forward you can build around. Those receivers that had been very, very average to mediocre all season long stepped up and played really well. Saquon was Saquon, and that defense led by Leonard Williams and Lawrence and Thibodeau, they played outstanding football. Mm-hmm. So this game is going to I believe, Skip, be a lot closer than what people think. And so I went Eagles 27, Giants 23.
I like your score, but I'm going to reverse it. I got 27-24 visiting team. I'm on the Giants bandwagon. You know how much I love me some Jalen Hurts, but I do not love what happened to Jalen Hurts down the stretch. Mm-hmm. I believe if he had not gotten hurt, he would have won the MVP. At least he should have won the MVP if he hadn't gotten hurt. And it would have gone right to the wire. And I believe that you can't do it with stats, but just in overall impact on that franchise and that team this year, he was it to me. Mm-hmm. And now he's not it, because he's lost his way a little bit, because it sounds like the shoulder is still banged up. So he lost his rhythm. He lost his momentum. Yeah. He lost a little bit of swag. He doesn't look quite the same. They don't look the same, because the defense actually got exposed by my Dallas Cowboys. Mm-hmm. 40 points that we scored on them. We got some short fields thanks to 4 turnovers that they basically gave to us, but 4. But still, you gave up 4 deep points, 40 points?
Yeah.
They are vulnerable. They've had some key injuries. I don't know if Lane Johnson, I guess he's going to try to go, but I don't know how well he could play, because as you keep pointing out, that's a tough one, man. That's hard to fight through. And he's key to the protection here. And I just don't know if look, it's the oldest bromide or cliche in sports. It's not who you play, but when you play them.
Correct.
Grammatically, it would be whom, but I don't like that word. It just sounds like you're being holier than thou to use that word. Yeah. I don't like it. But not who you play, but when you play them. You're playing the Giants at the wrong time for you and because of them. Right. Because I'm not saying they're on fire, but Daniel Jones has shown you his maximum sort of peak ability.
Yes.
He's at the end of year 4. It took a while, but the little light bulb in the back of his psyche, it also went off.
Right.
Went on, I should say. But against the Colts, albeit against the Colts, he had a QBR of 97 like Dax on Monday night. Again, it's the Colts, but I'm just saying they needed this. Right. He needed this because...
And I think that was on the road, too, wasn't it?
You know, I think it was at the Colts. Wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay, but the key is what you brought up. He ran 11 times for 91 yards. What? Yeah. I mean, that's like a running back. You know, okay. And he scored 2 touchdowns running along with 2 throwing. And then he turned it right around at Minnesota, where they'd almost won the game on, what was it, Christmas Eve? Christmas Eve. And he throws for 301 at Minnesota, but more important, he ran 17 times for 78 more yards. He's their running game
He almost doubled up Saquon, because I think Saquon had 9 rushes.
Okay, so he has found himself. He's got a legitimate head coach who is a quarterback whisperer, who has made him feel comfortable being him. What can you do the best? Well, I can run with it pretty well.
Okay.
You're 6'5", 230-ish, I guess.
Well, we'll add some of those.
Okay.
We'll add some of those to the game plan. Then.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll do that.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll encourage you. Maybe I'll pat you on the back and say, you know what? You're pretty good at this.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do it some more.
One of the best things that he did, Skip, is that he's very decisive.
Yeah.
If one wasn't there, I'm gone. He'd go 1, 2, bye. It wasn't no patting the ball and doing all this. He said, like, look, make a decision. If he's not there, take off. And we'll live whatever happens after that. And he got gone, and they didn't have an answer. And it ended up costing Ed Donatel, and I know Ed Donatel because he's with me in Denver. He was the DB coach on those 2 championship teams. But it ended up costing him his job because they had no answer. They had no checks for when he started running. Like, okay, maybe we need to have a spy to keep this guy from getting 10, 11 yards every time he takes off with the ball. But I've been very impressed. Now, Dexter Lawrence has been unbelievable. He's an all-pro. But he is going against one or two best centers in all of football. That's Kelsey. That offensive line is really good. Now, Lane Johnson being out, Skip, if you look at this, they started the tail back once he got injured. And he got injured in the Cowboys game.
He did.
And they haven't looked the same offensively. They can't run it with the same conviction, and they definitely don't protect with the same conviction. So that's something that bears playing out. And I can see Thibodeau lining up on that side and trying to put pressure on the backup tackle if Lane Johnson can't go. But if Lane Johnson can go, how long can he go, Skip? Because like you said, if he got to tear that abdominal, it's just the wrong move one way or another, and guess what? He coming up out of there.
I don't know. So at the end of year 4, Daniel Jones is all of 25 years of age. So he's still, I mean, it's like he hadn't even entered his prime yet in years.
Right.
So here he comes, and there they go, because they have Saquon. But to your point, Saquon's a home run hitter, but I never loved him between the tackles. And I don't know why, because he's got the stature and he's got the thigh power to obviously bang it up inside. But he's not great at that. But if you let him loose, there's once or twice a game he can hit home runs on you. So what they've started doing is do a little more read option with the 2 of them because one or the other can gash you.
Yes.
And if they make you make a choice and you leave one of them free off the edge.
You see, they made the pitch, Skip, because they want to get him in space.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get him, let him get ahead of steam, and let him pick a crease. Because, like you said, he can easily hit his head on the goalpost.
Okay, as you well know from all your years winning a whole lot of playoff games, in the end, the injury gods just dictate the outcome of the tournament. And right now, they're kind of looking out a side eye at Philadelphia. But they're embracing the Giants because it looks to me like the Giants have gotten just about completely healthy right on time.
Yes.
They've played this team again and again. They know this team.
They're division rivals. They know each other.
They're not afraid of this team, and they're not afraid of that stadium. They know it. It's not like, oh, we don't know what's going to hit us between the eyes. They know exactly what's coming.
Right.
And I don't think they'll be in awe. I don't think they'll be overwhelmed. However well they can play, they will hit their max because Brian Daboll's changed their life because they believe in him, he believes in them, and it has that momentum feel where I just think they are poised to go in there and win the game. I will be the first to admit and disqualify. I keep thinking, man, I could have an NFC Championship game at home if they win this game.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be a bad thing because I just told you I don't love my team at home. But it would be the Giants at home. Could we beat the Giants a 3rd time to get to the Super Bowl? I think we could. Do I like my chances there better than going to Philly? Let's say Philly just romps and stomps the Giants. And let's say my team does manage to win the game at San Francisco. Could we go win at Philly? Well, sure we could, but I'd rather try to beat the Giants at home, right? I guess so, right?
But there's something to be said because, like, I've been very fortunate to in the playoffs twice, have to play out a division opponent to advance. You know, when I was in Denver, we had to go to Kansas City. And then when I was in Baltimore, we had to go back to Tennessee.
You did.
And Tennessee and Baltimore used to be in the same division before they realigned. There was a bunch of teams in that division.
And that game at Tennessee, that was one of the great battles I've ever witnessed.
So you, Skip, you know what to expect. You know what they do. They know what you do. Now let's see who can just do it better.
Yeah, just
because it ain't no trickery. It ain't no got these great plays. It's line up, button up, and let's go third up.
Okay. So in the end, I could be picking more with my heart than my head.
You are.
But I do think the Giants are going to win this game. I just have a feeling I'm going to go 27. You said 27-23 Philly. I'm going 27-24 New York Football Giants. On to the NFC Championship game.
Oh, yeah, Eagles and 49ers.
Yeah. You got that?
Yeah, Eagles and 49ers.
Yeah. Cry, Eagles, cry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's going to be a rough day.
It's going to be a rough day for you on Sunday night.
No, it's not. I got this. I feel real good about
You
it.
have what you
It
feel?
feels like the Giants are getting hot at the right time. Certainly been a Cinderella season for them guys and Brian Daboll. It'll be a great matchup. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.